In the middle of June 2018, I ventured toward the railfan paradise known as Folkston, Georgia, where CSX constantly runs trains every day and night. I met up with my good friends from Virginia and South Carolina, and we all stayed at the railside lodging site, which sits right next to the CSX hotspot known as the Folkston Funnel. Sit back and enjoy as I share the wonderful experience I had in the small town of Folkston. It wasn't long after my arrival in Folkston when I was greeted with my first train of the trip, QO37, a southbound intermodal destined for Jacksonville, Florida. It was just a little over 10 minutes later when we heard the sound of Q441, a southbound manifest that originated in the nearby city of Waycross. Q441 had 2 Union Pacific units and a NS rebuilt AC-44 C6M. Around 1:40 in the afternoon, our first local of the trip made its way through the funnel. A794 was led by a CSX 8040, an SD40 that once served the seaboard coastline and also the seaboard system. The locomotive still has its original number from when it first began service in 1979. It wasn't long after the local cleared that QO32 would soon speed through. QO32 is one of the CSX trains that haul Tropicana juice along with intermodal revenue. One of the reasons I wanted to railfan in Folkston was to see the Tropicana freight cars, and now I can check that off my list. You can see that Tropicana reefers seem to be a favorite for graffiti artists. The flat white surface makes for a perfect canvas. We finally made our way to the Folkston viewing platform. There we would catch the northbound Q455 with a pair of GE AC 4400 CWs that still sported the Bright Future paint scheme. Here is QO26 destined for Illinois, led by number 229. manifest train Q608 with 7771 on point. Notice that the ditch light on the conductor's side is out. My friends and I discovered that the CSX Spirit of West Virginia was 4th out of a 6-unit consist on Q606. This would be my debut CSX Spirit unit. Also in the locomotive consist was 6898, one of the 3 EMD GP60s purchased by CSX. 6898 was a former EMD demonstrator unit just like the other 2 GP60s in the possession of CSX. K613 was heading south to hand off an ethanol train to the Florida East Coast in Jacksonville, Florida. Leading the ethanol train was a pair of Union Pacific GE units, the leader being a C45A CCTE and the trailing unit being a ET44AC. Next up, the Amtrak Silver Meteor flew through town with possibly one of the greatest horn shows that I've gotten in a long time. Needed grain train coming from Indiana making its way south toward Florida. Another train that I got to check off my list was the Amtrak Auto Train. The Auto Train is the longest passenger train in the United States of America. Here we have Amtrak train number 52 making its way northbound toward Lorton, Virginia. Here we have Q237, an auto rack train led by a Union Pacific Tier 4 Gevo number 2596. The second day of our trip would begin with the southbound equivalent to the intermodal and juice train we saw the day prior, Q031. Amtrak Train 97 made its way through Folkston with the Ohio Central Sugar Creek private car on the rear of the southbound Silver Meteor. While visiting a local train museum, our scanners picked up the Q441 of the day. We quickly got into position on the museum platform just outside in the nick of time. Q452 met us along the way back to our lodging site. Here is Manifest Q609 heading south, led by 553. As you can see to the left, the signal is a red over a flashing green. This indicates a limited clear, which basically means to proceed at limited speed or 45 miles per hour through the turnout. Once it clears the turnout, the crew may speed up to the authorized speed limit. As Q609 slowly passed by, we learned that the train with the limited clear was Q606. The northbound had an interesting consist, including CSX 1189, a former SCL MP15AC. Q220, an auto rack train bound for Louisville, Kentucky. Later towards the last hours of sunlight, CSX 5458, a GE ES40DC, led Q603. Q442 was waiting for Q603 to clear so it continued north towards Waycross, Georgia. The train was led by the same NS and UP power we saw the day before, leading the southbound Q441.
Adam Killer 37, lead engine 4547, Marshall on the copy. They have a sub, A604.3, A606.0. 2-track, max speed, permitted for our train, over. 705, over. 705, alright. Go 37, out.
Q608 once again with 306 leading and some cool EMD power. The local A794 just received a new crew for the day and slowly makes its way out of Folkston. Leading the local today is number 4031. 4031 was originally built as an SD40-2 that served the Louisville and Nashville. The unit was rebuilt into an SD40-3, which gave it the recognizable SpongeBob square cab. This next manifest was somewhat of a dread for me. The two Union Pacific locomotives that we had already seen twice now once again rolled past our cameras. We figured that we'd be on the wrong side of the tracks at least once as a meet took place while we were here, and sure enough, the time had come. The northbound Autorack Q220 came along with two YN2 units on point. We considered these two units sister units because both were just one number apart, number 120 on point, with number 119 trailing second. Trailing third on this train was GECX 2043, one of the Tier 4 GEVO demonstrator units. Here we have the Amtrak auto train again with 3 units on the point. After an all-nighter filled with CSX, we waited patiently as the CSX OCS with 9999 made its way toward Jacksonville, Florida. This would be our grand finale of the trip to the Folkston Funnel. Wanted to give a special thanks to my good friends that I spent these train field days with, such as Washington District Railfan, Nova Railfan, Across United States Railfan, and Southeastern Trains. I hope you have enjoyed watching my adventure at the Folkston Funnel, and I'll see you trackside.